Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings be unto the hopeful elect, pushing his truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe, in the sincere hopes of being delivered in these last days. All right, this is the brother Yakanan from the GMS England branch. And inspiration for this lesson is drawn from this interview that I was watching a few moments ago. And on the left here, you have this woman that goes by the name of Christine Anderson. She is a German politician, and what you're going to witness is how she is exposing the true purpose and the true intent of these 15-minute cities, okay? In this short clip, you know, she's going to speak about various things, but one of the key things that she mentions and speaks upon is how, you know, these 15-minute cities are merely for the control of the people. And she even mentions how they're 15-minute ghettos, all right, and not 15-minute cities. They're really 15-minute ghettos, all right. And we've been, you know, saying this, you know, for the longest time, how it's all about control concerning Esau, Edom, concerning the wicked elites. It's all about controlling you. It's all about taking away your ability to move around, okay? It's all about taking away your ability to travel, taking away your ability to own privately, you know, so on and so forth. That's why they have the slogan, you will own nothing and you will be happy, okay? They want everything to be subscription-based, just like how you have Netflix, all right, or Amazon Prime, or any of these, you know, subscription-based services. They want life in general, you know, to operate in that manner, all right? They don't want anyone to own a car. They don't want anyone to own a bike or a motorcycle or whatever the case may be. They want everything to be on a rent basis. And not only that, you're going to have the correct carbon footprint in order to have access to renting those products at the same time. So when you accumulate all of that together, what you're going to have is a very restricted and a very Orwellian state of living, okay, which is what she is actually going to expose. And again, you know, I have this loaded up. When we go into Psalm, the 64th chapter, all right, let's get straight to the point. Verse 8, it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And in the NLT it says, their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. All right? So what we see happening here, which has been happening for a very long time now, is their own tongue falling upon themselves. All right? You have these lesser luminaries, you know, these politicians, so on and so forth. There's been, well, she's from Germany. You've had some in Australia. You've had some in the UK, all lash out at these intents of the wicked elites of Esau, Edom, okay, and what they plan to do. A lot of these politicians are not actually down with it. You know, a lot of them see that more than likely, you know, their own lives is going to be severely impacted by these changes, okay? But ultimately, you know, this is all biblical prophecy, all right? The fact that their own tongue is falling upon themselves, that's very significant, because it is, in fact, you know, biblical prophecy coming to pass, all right? This is how Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, has ordained things to be in these last days, all right? And you're going to keep seeing how these things, you know, happen, and how these lesser luminaries, you know, keep revealing particular information, okay? Because a lot of, you know, what is revealed is revealed because you have lesser luminaries that are, if you will, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a particular word. Disgruntled. All right, that's the word I'm looking for. You have many of these disgruntled, lesser luminaries that are, lashing out and exposing certain things. That's all through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, these things are ordained to happen. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to, play a few excerpts from this video, and Lord willing, we get into a few more scriptures. All right.
Such a pleasure to be here with you, and thank you for everything you're doing. My question is your take on the 15-minute cities and what the real aim of the green agenda is really about. Okay, so first of all, I call it 15-minute ghettos because that's what they are. As I had just said, it's really not about, making our lives easier. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's about getting you under control. It's about possibly locking you up. In Great Britain, they already introduced legislation in a province. They are speaking of climate lockdowns.
Right, and she said, it's all about control, and it's all about locking you up. And as you heard, she said, they're really, 15-minute ghettos. All right, not cities, they're 15-minute ghettos. All right, you're going to be severely restricted. You're going to be limited, to one location. You're going to have to earn, credits, carbon foot credits, so on and so forth, to be able to do anything. There's been some articles that came out talking about how, they want to only allow people to fly, to another country once a year. And even in that, you have to earn that, all right? Because the whole thing with this, carbon footprint, they can go, so far with that, it's unbelievable, to the point where they can limit, what food you're buying. All right. For example, they could say that for you to buy, a steak, you have to earn 1,000 credits. All right. Or you only can have an allowance where you can only buy a steak once a month. Okay. The possibilities are endless, with that whole carbon, footprint system. And this is the kind of system that they want to implement in society because it's going to give them full control over the people. Okay. Full control over the people. All right.
And the people are being told we are doing this to make your lives easier, and we have to save the planet. Obviously, we have to save the planet, right? It has nothing to do with that. It is pretty much, taking individual mobility away from people. Get them on, bikes or whatever. So, and that is.
Hey, we've been knowing this. We've been knowing that, that's the agenda, and that's what these devils, are trying to pull. All right. And this is why the scriptures say, let's get it right quick in 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. And in the NLT, it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. All right. So we're familiar with these evil schemes. We know what the deal is. All right. We know what the agenda is, and we know the end result, which the end result is going to be that he wants the people chipped. All right, he wants everyone to receive within themselves that MOTB, that Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, because all of this is going to tie to the MOTB, the blockchain, everything. All of that technology is all going to be accumulated. All right, and put into one perspective, so to speak. Okay, it's all going to be conjoined. It's all going to be connected. All right. So we're not ignorant, of Satan's devices, man. All right, let's go back to the video.
Actually, what they saw during this COVID madness, when they were having these lockdowns, well, they couldn't really lock people down, right? Yeah. Because they would have had to ensure that people could go grocery shopping. And you don't have grocery stores, within a 15-minute radius kind of thing. So, yeah, they realized that. That's what this whole thing with this 15-minute ghettos is all about. They need to first... You need to make sure that you might have everything you could possibly need, and then there is nothing to stop them from locking you down. What are people going to say? We're going to starve to death? I mean, once again, look to China. This is going to be our future. And once again, not 30, 40, 50 years. Now we're talking.
Yeah, not 30, 40, or 50 years, but now, this is all happening, right now. And she mentioned China, it's been happening in China. All right, they have a hell of a, draconian system over there in China. Okay, a hell of a draconian system. Okay, so this is happening now. This is not a thing of, 5, 10, 15 years from now. We're actually at that point already, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So we're living in the time of the end. Okay? We are living in the time of the end, man. And before you know it, there's going to be more and more of these 10 and 15-minute cities erected, upon the earth. More and more. Okay? And then, hey, they're going to have, false flags. You're going to have, situations where they're going to terrify the people into submission. All right? Because that's what this is all about as well. It's terrifying the people into submission and ultimately getting them to take the C-hip. Okay?
Now.
And the aim of the Green Agenda, what do you think that's all about?
Well, the Green Agenda is just part of, that overall agenda, which is to erect a totalitarian regime in which people are under complete control. That actually what it does, the Green Deal, the so-called Green Deal, it will impoverish people. We have seen that, people are barely capable.
Right. It will impoverish people, all right? And we're clearly seeing how that's happening, all right? And people being brought to their knees and being financially, broken down, all right? You have the cost of living crisis, over here in the UK. Various parts of the world, you have people struggling to make ends meet, to be able to afford, food. The living wage, is slightly going up, but then again, inflation is crazy, okay? You got hyperinflation in particular points of the earth. Venezuela is through, okay? So this is all by design. This is all engineered chaos that the wicked elites of Esau Edom are introducing upon the earth, which is part of the New World Order system. Okay? This is all by design, crippling the people, beating them down into submission, and then, throwing upon them, this New World Order system. Okay? And that's how they're going to get mass majority of the people to comply, through beating you down financially. Okay?
Of keeping up with their bills anymore. And energy prices, they're skyrocketing. In Germany, the idiot German government, they shut off the last of our nuclear power plants, and they're dreaming about, all these windmills generating enough electricity for Germany, who is, industrial nation. Seriously? Well, what happens if the sun is not shining and the wind's not blowing? Where is the energy coming from? Guess what? It's coming from France, from Poland, from whoever. Well, nuclear power plants, which, by the way, are not operating to the highest standard of safety. That was actually the case in Germany. But we shut them down because on the other end of the planet, years ago, there was, a natural catastrophe happening, which could never happen in Germany. But this natural catastrophe at the other end of the world destroyed only one nuclear power plant there in Japan, but it destroyed all nuclear power plants in Germany. And it's just idiotic.
Yeah, so my last question is just, speaking up like you do and going against the mainstream agenda, are you ever scared that they're going to try to remove you from the position that you have and that's so very needed for all of us around the world?
Well, once you start being afraid, or once you start showing that you are in fear, you have lost. So, they can do whatever they want to me. They can threaten me, and remove me. Well, then go ahead and do it. But I will not back down, and I will not give into that fear that you're trying to instill in me, because it's not going to work.
Right, and the real fear is really by, the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, via the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right? They really fear the word of the Lord. They really fear the coming of our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. That's the real fear, all right? Is the words of the Lord, this word coming out. Because, we have the truth, All right, we have the truth. All right, and we have, prophecy. Okay, so we're in the best position possible. Now, another scripture I wanted to get, since we were talking about, restriction of movement, so on and so forth, is 2 Corinthians 15. And all right, let's start from we'll start from verse 14. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, and we're also seeing how people are not regarding, their world leaders, all right, and their presidents, and the modern day kings, so on and so forth. Okay, and that's why you have a multitude of uproars of the people throughout the four corners of the world too. Okay, because again, they want to engineer that chaos. They want people to go against the powers that be, so it gives them a reason to put that draconian hand down. Okay? And verse 17 says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay? Which is the key point, concerning this video, concerning this lesson, because it's all about restriction of movement and keeping everyone in those 15-minute cities. And that's where you get, the talk of all these curfews. You have, they were talking about climate curfews, so on and so forth, limiting the amount of time you can come out your house to so-called try and save the planet. All kind of mad, and bogus, reasonings that they're putting out there to try and get you to stay in your house. I remember during the L Downs, when you had the C-19, they were erecting all of them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towers. God speak in code. But they started erecting all of those towers when everyone, was inside their home. Okay? So they be doing things. All right? They be doing things when you inside your home. They be, when they stopped the L Downs over here in the UK, all of a sudden you had an influx of 20 mile per hour roads, all over the place, as if there wasn't enough already. Okay, so anywhere you go, you can only travel 20 miles an hour. Okay, so that was done by design. Okay, so everywhere you drive now, you can only drive maximum 20 miles per hour unless you're on the motorway, which they're doing smart motorways now to restrict that even more as well. Okay, so they're actually pushing people to really, ride bikes and to take public transport. But even soon, that's going to be a thing of the past as well, because they don't want you going anywhere. So again, this is all by design. All right, every intricate detail that these devils are doing is all by design, and it's all for a purpose, to take away your perceived liberty that you think you have. All right, so again, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, and the houses be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, so ultimately that destruction is coming through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua anyway, because of their pride. Okay? Now, especially out here in the UK, especially London, this place needs judging, man. All right? There's a abominable, prideful spirit, in this world, and in particular places as well. You got particular hotspots where that pride is just elevated. All right? And that pride is going to get judged. That pride is going to get judged, man. So the common draconian nature of the powers that be is really fueled by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua on the left-hand side. Okay? So that's what we do know. But, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, I just wanted to get into that video right quick. Until next time, I'll say shalom.